What is going on, guys? It's your boy Kevin, and I'm back today with an updated video on Meta Jacqui Briggs. Now, I've made a plethora of videos on this character in the past. My most recent one, at least discussing her variations, was about the potential of what custom Jacqui would be when customs were allowed competitively. Now that they are, and I've been playing it for months on end, I figured it was about time I gave you guys an update on how exactly I like to play this variation of Jacqui and what you could bring to the table and consider if you want to play her yourself. I've obviously got already tons of videos on combos for her and setups and whatnot, so I'm going to focus specifically on what makes this variation even stronger than the form of Jacqui we had with just plain upgraded, if you can believe that it got any stronger. And if you'd like to ask me questions about it live, feel free to do so over on twitch.tv. You know the drill. /Kevinmcolon. I'll be streaming 3 to 4 nights a week, 3 to 4 hours at a time. We've also been picking up some Tekken. I'm getting into some Outriders. There's a lot of fun content over on the stream and opportunities to earn money. So please feel free to come in and take some of mine. I'm putting it up for a reason, and I would love for one of you to pocket it. With that said, let's go ahead and get into what I like to call Plasmophobia Jacqui Briggs. I know, I thought I was clever for the variation name too. You don't have to gas me up. Plasma Jacqui Briggs is exactly the same as upgraded. I'll have her custom moves on the screen in case you need them if you're newer to the game, but ideally we're just running upgraded with the addition of plasma grenades instead of her normal amplified shrapnel, which works kind of shotgunny, I would say, for lack of a better term. So we're going to get access to this down back one, which on the floor, as you can see, is going to do an insane amount of take damage. If you don't believe me, let me refresh. Look at Cassie's health bar. Ouchies, right? Ouchies. It sucks. You can, of course, amplify it to lob out 2, and you can hold the amplify to delay up until about the length of what I would say is 2.5 seconds. 1, 2, so like 2 seconds. I count seconds slow, so maybe 2.5. We're also going to get our down forward one, which is going to work similarly as far as take damage on the floor. We can create enough distance and get Cassie to stand in it. Going to do the same amount, and you can also as well amplify it to get a second grenade out, and you can also delay it for 2 seconds also. So it's going to have all of the same properties. The difference between the two is this. The down back one will not hit an opponent if they're standing. This will completely whiff. Obviously, it'll set up trap. You prefer for it to be this way. I'll explain to you why in a second, that you don't want this to hit in the same way. But down forward one is going to be your projectile if you want to use it like a projectile. The main difference of what's going to change outside of this is combined with air shrapnel, you are now able to lob plasma onto the floor from the air. And of course, if you combine this with amplified air shrapnel, which almost everybody's going to do, you can even combo off of that for great combo extension and wake your opponent up and take damage. The properties of this plasma are going to work as such, where on the floor it's going to take about 1% per hit. You'll see over time that'll melt her about 10-12 health depending on how long we can get Cassie or any other characters to stand in it. And on hit, it's going to do a lot less. So 6 damage on hit and about 0.3% of a tick per second. But as you can see, those ticks go by very fast. But if you look at the difference in Cassie's life bar here and how fast it's draining compared to her life bar here and how fast it's draining, as far as the ticks on their own, that damage isn't really threatening until you add the variable of standing in it, which is really what you're going for. Ideally, the fact that this does burning damage to them at all is a bonus, but this isn't really what people are scared of. Again, if you look past the initial hit of damage that Cassie's going to take, that tick damage isn't really threatening. That life bar is hardly moving. So it's technically burning, but is it really? You know, it'll add up over time, but on its own, it's not that much of a threat. This is what everybody's scared of. Now that I've repeated myself a couple of times, what difference does that make? Well, you already have Bionic Leap, which of course we have in any upgraded variation of upgraded. You can combine, of course, upgraded and amplified shrapnel with a lot of things. You can work it in with hyper knee for more crushing blow potential. You can work it in with clinch for more crushing blow potential and constant positioning outside of having to use 3-3 to side switch. So why is it that plasma is the best version and ideally the one you're going to see most competitive Jacqui players playing? Well, it's because you add so much more variability, if that's a word. I'd like to think that's the right word, to her game. So much more utility. Bingo! Sub-bingo! so much more utility to her game plan in ways in which you weren't able to play Jacqui before. Jacqui in original upgraded was completely reliant on rush down pressure and doing what I like to call ignoring neutral. If you run into a lot of Jacqui players, ideally, and I'll make a video on this later, I have a series coming up that I think you guys will like, and I hope you will. The way that you beat most Jacqui players is forcing them to play neutral in a way that they're not used to having to do, because Jacqui doesn't care about neutral simply because of this special move here. Leap is so effective and so annoying for people because it shuts down fundamental neutral play. Because fundamental neutral play, if you guys aren't aware, footsies, as we like to call it, is relying on spacing out your opponent in the horizontal range and keeping them focused on the spacing that's happening on the ground. When you have a character with leap who can completely negate that by taking to the air, thereby ignoring that entire horizontal plane and being able to attack from the air, so she doesn't even have to come down and enter horizontal range to engage with you, you create quite a problem. And she gives a lot of characters a problem for that reason. Most characters who are going to give Jacqui an issue are able to shut down that airspace to limit her to that ground game where she is a little weaker if she's not exactly in your face. Plasma helps you mitigate even that. So one of the only weaknesses she has now becomes a problem for people who want to play neutral. Because what do I care about chasing you down in neutral if you have to constantly navigate around the minefield that is Plasma all over the floor? So ideally, the biggest problem Jacqui would have is someone like Cassie, if we were to switch over to her, someone like Cassie doing this and shutting down this space, forcing us to leap, punishing us for leaping, using, again, arguably the best anti-air in the game to shut down the leap. If I was to record Jacqui trying to come in, set us, not this way, set us at a farther distance, I can completely snuff her out of the air. That's a problem. Jacqui doesn't have to do that if she doesn't have to play that game, because now Cassie has to deal with this. So I don't even have to worry about chasing you. If I get a life lead and I have flames, you die. And there's a lot of ways I can enforce this. So let's bring this back up close and personal and talk about it. So first of all, with regular upgraded, you have effective combos, and I always tout about how amazing it is that Jacqui has practically 40% unbreakable damage. She does not lose that in Plasma. In fact, she does even more damage with the combo because of the small amounts of burning damage that are happening throughout the entire time. So if we were to do Jacqui's classic unbreakable damage, 39%. It's not as strong as it was when I made my original video on it, but it's 39% of you cannot get out of this damage. There is no point where Cassie comes off the floor and is able to deal with this. If you want, you can even do this combo, launch them, and down two. Get practically the same amount of damage. And if you do that, you can set a Plasma on them. So they have to wake up in Plasma. Obviously, they can get up and try to punish that depending on the character. Garrus or someone can up to this because you are mashing a button on their Oki. So if they have a decent ranged wake up 2, they could punish that. But how often are they going to do that? If they don't have defensive meter, you don't care. And now she's burning and tick damage, which means she either has to overextend and rush to me or realize the situation and back off, which becomes a lot more threatening in the corner, which is where I personally feel like this variation shines. So let's go ahead and take Cassie to the corner here and show you one of, probably if I had to sum down a section of this video as to this is why Jacqui is ridiculous, it's gonna be this part. So I want you to try to really focus in on the information here, because I am promising you, as a fellow competitive player or casual player who just has fun getting better at the game, if you play Jacqui and you can get this concept down, you will be surprised the amount of matches you will start winning for this alone if you can implement this. I can practically guarantee it. My success rate with this character has gone up threefold just from starting to do this. And when I explain it, I'm going to tell you exactly what your opponent's going to do. And you watch how many times, every once in a while they won't. I can't say everybody, but you'll be surprised how many times they're going to do exactly this. So Jacqui has this amazing string in forward 3, 1, 4, right? Usually the main part of forward 3 that's really emphasized as this is ridiculous, this is so strong, is the fact that forward 3 starts up at 9 frames. Cassie also has a 9 frame mid. and it's touted as one of her best tools because mids, especially fast ones that are hit confirmable, are hard to come by in this game. So this button alone is ridiculous, but it leads into this string. And you're gonna see when we end the string, we have a hit advantage of 31 frames, which means if we were both to jump as soon as we were able to, we would be able to jump 31 frames before Cassie after hitting this string. That's how quicker we can move. How much quicker we can move before she can. Which means we have a lot of extra time to work with. So this string in the corner doesn't just become knockdown and strike throw mix, which is evident, but it becomes a format we can use in the corner to literally completely cancel out risk reward, which is not an easy thing to do in Mortal Kombat. And it's why this is so strong. Because in this scenario, we not only have enough time to throw flames down before our opponent can get up. So we wake them up in the corner in flames, which now, remember what we said before, she either has to push towards us or push away from us. She can't go away from us. She has to get out of the corner. Somebody like Cassie is going to have a very hard time doing that. Somebody like Scorpion or Raiden or Cetrion have access to a teleport, but we know that they do, and in the least we force them to use it, potentially even their defensive meter. If Scorpion tries to teleport and we block it, we hit him, we throw him back in the corner, and we start it over again. So, again, not only do we have enough time to get this flames down against most of the cats who don't have a teleport, we're completely safe doing this. That's how plus we are, because the startup of down back 1 is only 10 frames. So ideally, we have 31 frames of hit advantage after doing this string. It takes us 10 frames to throw this move out, which leaves us, if you were frame perfect, 21 frames where we're fine. Nothing's happening. Given the margin of error being human, let's say you hit this string and you wait 10 frames and then you throw this out in 10 frames. So you have 31 frames. It takes you 10 frames to get the move out. So now you have 21. The move takes 10 frames itself. So now we have 11 frames of hit advantage still before our opponent can get up. Ideally, as long as you do not wait a full second, as long as you get this out somewhere in the ballpark of the amount of time you have to get this flames out. I messed it up there. Did it too early. I messed it up there. Did it too early. Again, as I'm making my point to tell you not to mess it up. As long as you get it somewhere in the ballpark of there, you're completely fine from anything that your opponent wants to do. On top of that, you're not even in the range of most options that they have. And on top of that, on reaction, if you practice this and tune your ability to react to the wake-up options that your opponent has, to the defensive options that your opponent has. I hate when I stutter. If you were able to stay keyed in on that and you're playing very hyper-focused and aware, you can punish most of their defensive options from here, even if they have defensive meter. And if they don't, it's your turn and they have to deal with it because they won't have access to great answers for you. So let's go over them to help make my point. I'm going to have Cassie get up and do a forward roll, let's say, after we do this. So I'm going to put flames down. He's going to roll, and on reaction, I can punish her for rolling. And now she can't break away because she spent a defensive option, right? So cool. So that's guaranteed damage. That's option 1 of what she can do. If she gets up and rolls backwards, we obviously don't care. In fact, we can even pressure her out of it. So you can see what a voice crack. You can see that she's trying to roll backwards and you can fight to get in there. And I believe if you're really cracked, you could potentially get in and punish, but that's very, very specific and it won't happen more often than not. But if they backwards roll, even if we don't have the ability to react to it, they wake up in flames. So ideally, we don't care about this. And again, they have wasted their defensive options. So if we get in with anything again, they can't break away. And it's fine. So, flip kick. Which one is flip kick? Let's see. Okay, so this is her wake up 2, right? Perfect. We're going to do our string here. Put flames down. She tries to do wake up 2. We're not there. She can't reach us. If we react to it, and you have good execution, you can even punish her for it and put her in the same position again. You can continuously loop this scenario, which of course, the more often you can hit it, the more your opponent is going to feel like, how am I going to get out of here? We give her nut punch. This is her wake up 3 option. So this is going to interrupt if we continue to pressure, right? So if I go in, that's going to stop me. But again, I don't have to. I'm going to put flames down. And I can punish, put her back in the same position again. And if she's stubborn, she can die twice for it. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing she can do. If she was to get up and try to throw me because she's a demon, that gets punished. She can't do anything. At least not defensively on wake up. We've shut down literally every single option that she has, or we haven't cared about it because it hasn't been threatening to us. The only remaining option for this opponent, regardless of who they are, to try to get out of this situation is this. And this is what most people are going to try to do, is jump out of the corner. So let's shut that down. Let's put flames down. She's going to try to jump. She gets anti-aired for the jump and put right back in. If you're cracked, you can even get that much of it and put her right back in. You can forward to her for trying to jump out and put her right back in. You can trip guard her if you're at the right range. Oh, hold on, I dropped it. Oh, come on, Kev. Oh, I don't have these today? You can trip guard her, put her right back in. We don't care. We don't care. This is usually the one I would recommend going for because it's a lot easier. And you're not going to drop this as much as trying to go for this, which sometimes won't connect. Most times it'll be fine, but there are heights where you'll get this. So I just avoid that by not going for that altogether. But you can practice that and get it down. It's not that hard. I just haven't spent the time on it personally. So there's literally nothing they can do to get out that we can't either not be in the range of, be able to punish, or react to. The 2 biggest threats are forward roll, which we can 1-1-2 on reaction or throw on reaction, and jump, which we've effectively now just anti-aired. And not only do we shut those options down, but we shut those options down and put them right back in the scenario again. So we do this. They do whatever option they want to go for. We answer it appropriately. We punish them and put them right back into it again. And you can literally melt someone's life bar in the corner by doing this 3 to 4 times. And they're going to try different options. They're going to wake up 3, and then you're going to punish with forward 3. They're going to wake up 2, you're going to punish with forward 3. They're going to jump out, you're going to anti-air, do your forward 3 string, put them back in plasma. They're going to back roll, you're not going to care. They literally cannot do anything to you. I wholeheartedly believe that on its own makes her one of the most ridiculous characters in the game, okay? I mean, it's obvious that nobody's really going to argue. If you're crazy, you're not going to argue that she's less than top 5 in whatever order you put Joker or Liu Kang or Fujin in, depending on what opinion you have on the game. If Jacqui's not in your type 5, if she's not in your top 5, you're not looking at the game for what it is and what this actually is. Combos can also end and force opponents into plasma, which can guarantee a win condition. We can do something like this and force her to wake up in plasma. If she cannot take that tick damage on wake up, she dies. If you have a life lead against an opponent and they have, let's say, and I'm going to do this just for the visual representation. Let's say your opponent has 10 health and you have a nice chunky, I don't know, 50, right? We've gotten to this point. You've been dominating. You know what you can do? This. And now if Cassie tries to attack me, she has to step into flames to do that. She does not have enough health to afford being able to do this. I can do it in front of her, and she still takes the tick damage from it. Matter of fact, let's go back to the corner, because you know what's my favorite thing with this. I can do it in front of her in the corner, and where is she going to go? You know what I'm saying? If the opponent feels like blocking, in a situation like this, there's one moment to get out, and I'll show you guys where it is. But Cassie can literally die for just trying to block here and play it safe. If I do this setup to her, she dies to tick damage. I think she can live through about, I want to say 15 to 16. I'm gonna bet my money on 16%. This will still kill her for trying to block it. It did. 60% on the dot. I'm so cracked. Just for trying to block it. There's only one moment to punish this, which we can actually adapt to. So I'm gonna, again, show you that. Then one or two more things and we'll call it quits, because as excited as I'm getting, this video is going on for a while. Let's go ahead and record Jacqui and make sure that I'm blocking, doing this setup to me. Okay. The only thing I can do is anti-air here because I've been given the opportunity with the spacing. And Cassie can practically kill off of that. So you have to be careful if your opponent doesn't know about this. But if I try to answer back at the wrong time, I get clipped. If I try to anti-air too late, I get hit, then I die regardless. I only have this moment here to recognize that I have an opportunity to get out. If you're Cassie, you can also even side switch off of this. Hold on. I only have that moment to get out. If I, let's say, do the wrong punish, and I stand in flames for too long, I could potentially die. If I'm on like 3%, and I get my answer, first of all, if you block this, be careful. But even if I get my punish off, if I end up standing in flames, I could die anyway. So I don't have an easy out. I have to be perfectly social aware. And I know I'm making it look like it's easy, but I know this is coming. If I don't know this is coming, who's to really guarantee I'm going to be able to anti-air? And I'm not in most situations going to hold block because I don't know what's going to happen. And if I try to anti-air, hold on, I did that wrong. And if I try to anti-air, and I get hit anyway, I also still die. So I don't have an easy out to this. And I have to make sure that I'm even confident enough that you're not going to do this. Of course, again, I could wait out, but I have no idea what's coming. If you're really cracked, you can even do 3 in a row. Hold on. If you're good, if you're better than me, you can do 3 in a row. So even if I think I'm getting an opening, look what I wake up in. I waited. Hold on. I trade, I'm in flames. I'm dead. That's what this character has the potential to do. You have anti-breakaway tech. And I'm going to show you. So if you read, let's say that your opponent is going to break away, right? I'm going to do delayed because it's more realistic to how this would actually play out in a real match. I'm doing my... Oh, she's still blocking. Hold on. Let's stop that real quick. Cassandra Cage. Come on, thumbs. Come on, Kev. Oh, okay. I remember what the setup is. Actually, I'm doing it wrong. We could threaten our KB combo. Have her wake up in flames. If you're not aware of what the KB combo is, the KB combo essentially is this one here. And a lot of Jackies who are better than I am use this to confirm into crushing blow. It's very good. It sets up more of this. It's creating a minefield. So a lot of people are going to break away when you do that. If you know they're going to, the second they see this, you could wake them up in flames and pressure them again. They could die for that. You can do this if they break away. We don't care. We push them back into flames. Oh, come on. You can do forward 4 into it as well. Forward 4 back to are the 2 buttons I would recommend using for this to punish your opponent, because we don't have an armor break, but we still have the ability to set you up in flames for trying to spend your defensive meter. Then we set flames up again and get back to business. Last but not least, one thing that Jacqui breaks, and we're going to end on this, one thing that Jacqui breaks has never been able to do, that she's now able to do, is play lame. Because Jacqui, if you think about upgraded before, if I told you, hey, listen, in a couple of months, not only will I be able to play upgraded, but I'll be able to have a projectile with Jacqui Briggs, you would have thought, you're insane. There's no way NetherRealm was going to give you that. We have one. So I can have a life lead just like this and pester that you have to get around in and not get caught with a projectile. This also shuts down people's ability to jump. Get out of the air. And at some ranges, you can even confirm this. It's hard. It's not going to happen often. I don't think I have the skills to showcase it here. But it is possible at certain ranges. Whenever you put. It is, I've seen it. Just trust that I've seen it. It is possible to get a back 4-2 off of that, but it's very tight. You're almost never going to get it. You know what this also does because it works like this? It even shuts down upgraded. Because if you're in a Jacqui mirror match and that Jacqui leaps at you, this completely shuts down her airborne range to get in. And if you amplify, you can wake them up in flames. So you can anti-air somebody and set them up in burn damage. And if they jump to get out, we already know what we do for people who jump. We already went over this. So they literally can't even do that. And I'm telling you guys, this character is ridiculous. I would like to implore you all, if you play Jacqui or if you haven't considered doing it yet, to take her into practice mode, go through some of this, tell your friends about it, try it out for yourself, and really try to argue with me that this is not immensely strong, that it's not spectacular, that it's not arrivederci, whatever that means. I'm sure it sounds cool, and in another language, it might even mean really good, or not. I don't know. I don't have time to Google it. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you'd like to, follow me on Twitter. If you use any of this tech online and you're really happy with it, send me a clip of it. I'd love to see it. Post a video to your YouTube channel and go, hey man, I have this video of me winning doing what you said. I'll look at every single submission that you send in because I like watching people succeed, specifically you guys, and knowing that I helped it. This character's busted. Start using it. I'm gonna catch you guys next time. More videos coming soon. Probably gonna pull some of this in ranked on PC, so look forward to that. I look forward to all of your future success and tournament success and money, and even some of it that you might take from me if you enter my event. I'm gonna catch you guys next time. Peace.